Good morning and welcome to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac, president of Roby Electric, along with Trent Haston, president and CEO of the Roby family of companies. It's Sunday morning. We are your hosts. Trent, it's At Home with Roby.
At home with the homeboys.
At home on the range. That's what that
Man,
sounds like.
I tell you, I was sitting on my neighbor that lives down in the holler below my house, sitting on his deck at the pool last night, and our kids were swimming in the pool. And I said, I'm so glad to be home, man.
Hey, we both had some trips. I mean, I know you went to the beach. I know you had a trip before that. And then Jody and I got to take a trip to Costa Rica, sans Scarlett. Without Scarlett, we've obviously missed her, but it was kind of fun to be able to do that. Just sometimes it's good to go just you and the wife.
I mean, my dad used to always say, you be tripping. I didn't know what he meant.
Like, no, Dad, I can walk fine. What do you mean?
Yeah, I wasn't talking about cuz.
Yeah, I know you had a trip
I'm going to go to Myrtle Beach.
You're going to talk a little bit about that, I think, when we have our wish story on the fourth segment.
I got a little tie-in with the child theme on the wish story segment 10. So stay tuned for segment 4, the 10 weeks leading up to
10
the
segments. Ooh.
To the Pitching for Wishes cornhole tournament on September the 16th. But no, yeah, we went down, trip to Florida, took the family and kids business trip. They got to join in, and then I went up to the mountains and then went to Surfside. My mom has a house down the Surfside, so family trip, and now we're back home, going to breathe a little bit, that North Carolina air.
You were gone for 2 weeks too. I bet you did enjoy being down at that holla with your neighbor.
I did, and I kept telling him that. And he's like, you got to go home now.
No, I don't want to go. No, I'm just joking. But Trent, we have a good guest today, entrepreneur, kind of like your dog. His last name is Wiley.
Oh, wow.
Wiley. And he has started a company called Engine Texture. He is an engineer by trade, so that's who we have on the show. So if you've ever wondered what an engineer really does,
nothing
other than costs a lot of money per hour, stay tuned and you can listen and learn.
No, we do a lot of. We utilize engineers and their services in the construction world a lot, and they're very valuable. And they help check boxes on quality and how to do stuff, and they're educated in that where we're not.
You're right.
So thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing what Greg has to say.
Yeah, no, I am too. And Greg and I are friends together. We go to church together, so he's a good man, and we'll really enjoy what he has to say. So Trent, let's talk a little bit about how was your Florida trip? Tell us where you went. Where were you? What were you doing?
Is with my organization, Young Presidents Organization.
Okay.
So it's a family trip. We do a family trip every summer, and sometimes I can go on it and get to take the kids. They get to interact. But we went down. This year's trip was down in Palm Beach. It was at the Breakers Resort, which is very nice. If you don't know Palm Beach or West Palm Beach, it's out of my league. But I also got to go down and spend a little time with some other. I did a job down in South Florida in West Palm Beach.
Oh yeah, I was there.
You
with
know
you.
that
I came
about
and
4 or
visited
5
you.
years ago.
Yeah.
So I got to go see some of my friends, our customer, rekindle some of those relationships. So it was great, man. It was good. I like that part of the world. I do. But it's not Carolina, but I like it.
Well, Trent, I think we should talk about this because I think that's a pretty good story. You mentioned the project that you Trent Haston was the project manager, and you were doing that in Palm Beach.
I took one of our carpenters from Charlotte down there, job supers, and a helper
story.
had 2 guys, and I'm trying to be one of the guys, and this guy honestly told me to my face he didn't ever know what I did, and then I go down there and do this job, and he's like, "Wow, I didn't know you worked so hard." I'm like, "Dude, well, how you think you have a job every day?"
Well, I wanted you're being humble, but I also want to talk about you slept on an air mattress.
Well, we said where we're going to sleep, and we weren't touching the master bedroom.
Nope.
We were tearing up the rest of the house. Very nice house. We weren't touching the master bedroom.
Nice house.
It still had the master bed in it, and then I had a pool house, and I had an air mattress for the floor. And he said, "I got the master," like a little kid. And I said, "All right." And he ran up and took the master bedroom. I ran to the pool house and blew up an air mattress.
Well, there was no guest room, so I came down with you one week, and you wanted to kind of show me what was going on, and we were taking a look at some stuff down there. And so I slept on an air mattress in the middle of the construction site. I remember waking up one morning with sawdust landing on my forehead.
And then you cough up hairballs like you did about 3 minutes ago.
but you mentioned the Breakers, and I remember this is Bill Parmley's house we're talking about, of course.
Great client.
Great client, and
great friend.
He had a friend that I think worked at Oxbow with him named I don't know why, and James Sanderson.
Yep.
And he got us the ability. We played the Breakers golf course. I think we were like 2 kids, Christmas, and then said, "Hey, just go hang out by the pool, and you can tell them you're my guest." And I I think we had a lot of fun, and we obviously spent a good time. Good
No,
bonding.
it was good, and I never knew the difference in Palm Beach or West Palm Beach.
either.
If you want to learn and do a little study on life and culture and societal rankings and stuff, Google Palm Beach and West Palm Beach in South Florida. It's very educational, and frankly, when I lived down there for 3 months and slept on the floor and dropped an elevator in the middle of an existing house, I learned a lot. I mean, my wife wanted me home with those 3 kids.
And you
I
wanted
do
to be
remember
on it.
this. I was
Yeah.
trying to open an office down there. I'm glad we didn't. We weren't ready to do it, but I was trying to sell jobs to open an office, and I really liked it down there. I did. I liked it a lot. And I was looking, if we were going to open an office, I was looking at possibly buying a little house, maybe a fixer-upper or something, investment 5 years ago. Market was down. And my wife comes down one of the weekends, and we're riding around, and I'm like, look at this house. I like this house. I can do this and fix it up, and look at this house. And I look at her, and she's crying. And I said, what's going on? And she said, you're not a Florida boy. You a Carolina boy. And she was serious. And she said, don't.
She was right.
And I was trying to grow the business, but basically she snapped me back into it and said, don't. You are all Carolina boy. She said, don't forget that. But I like experiencing other places, experiencing other people. I like learning. And I think everybody be nice to you when you're nice to them. What do you want me to do?
No, I just we're wrapping up segment 1. I want to make sure that people know why they should stay tuned.
Please stay tuned. We have Greg Wiley with Engitecture, the new format of the collaboration between architecture and engineering, and he's a fellow entrepreneur that we share a lot of business with, so stay tuned. It's very interesting. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be right back.